Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everything Iconic with me, Danny Pellegrino. I'm so excited. We have the one and only Kyle, the Splits Richards, of course, from Halloween Kills, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Kyle, how are you today?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm really excited to talk to you. I got to see this movie the other night, and it's going to be hard. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone,
Yeah,
but
no spoilers.
no spoilers. But I will say, this isn't a spoiler at all. You were my favorite part of the movie. It was so exciting because I'm such a Housewives junkie. To get to watch you act was exciting.
Thank you so much. What's been really fun for me during this process is recently is seeing that, the Housewives fans become Halloween fans and the Halloween fans become Housewives fans, which has been so funny to me because there's, I have, different demographics on each one and they're merging now and they all have been so supportive, which has been incredible.
Was it fun getting back into the role? Talk to me about kind of jumping back into Lindsay.
Well, acting is my first love. So for me, I've always tried to keep my toe in the door, doing little things here and there while I'm doing the Housewives. But my schedule has been so insane that it's really hard to do that. But, I always thought in my head, I'm going to be like Betty White and acting, until I'm 100 years old. And to have this opportunity to bring Lindsay back, I really wanted to put my heart and soul into it. And I was just so fortunate to be embraced by David Gordon Green and having Jamie be so supportive, to have me back, that it just made it so much easier and so exciting. I loved every minute of it.
Did they make you audition? Did they just say, hey, we want to bring this character back? Like, how did that conversation go?
I did not have to audition, but David Gordon Green, our director, wanted to meet with me. And we met for coffee in Beverly Hills. I think he just wanted to get a sense of what I'm like. If you watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or you don't and you Google me, you're only going to see probably like red carpet pictures and stuff. So we met and he got a sense of who I am as a person. And I had auditioned like a few years ago for something in the Halloween, and then it got like postponed. So I don't know if they ever looked at that or not, but I did not audition. And then they called me and they said, we want you to be part of it. And we want to just give you a heads up. There's a scene that you should probably know about before you commit to saying yes to. And
wait, what scene was, now did I see the scene?
Yes, I wish you could yeah. So
I know isn't this so hard? I know we don't want to spoil it.
Well, the scene where in the park where you
okay.
see me go into the swamp.
Oh, okay.
Did you see when I was hiding,
Yeah, we see that in the trailers. We can say that.
Right, yeah. Right. So he warned me that there could be alligators in there and that they were going to take every precaution to make sure I'd be safe regardless. And I was like, well, what does that look like? I mean, do they put nets in there? Like, I couldn't figure out what it was, but what it was is just men with flashlights looking for alligators.
Oh my God, that's terrifying to me.
Terrifying. Yeah. And I saw like the alligator handler on the set. And it was just like 3:30 in the morning, in the middle of the night. So, and I went up to him and he was this older man, maybe 80 or so. And he had a stick with the loop on the end to catch the alligators. And I asked him, I said, what do you think the chances of an alligator really being in there? Because I'm starting to freak out. And I was like talking to him alone because I didn't want anyone to know how much I was freaking out. And he said, well, if I were you, it's the snakes I'd be more worried about. And I was like, no, not the snakes too.
I don't think I could do that. I mean, an alligator to me, that's like they look like dinosaurs. Okay. Like they're scary. I couldn't imagine. What was harder to film then? What's harder, Housewives or Halloween? I'm sure you're getting that question a lot.
I have been getting that question. I mean, honestly, I feel I feel really fulfilled acting. And even though I had those moments of being afraid, getting in the swamp, I have such an adrenaline rush and I love it so much that for me, that in that sense, it's easier. Shooting in a Housewives reunion, I'm like down for the count for 2 days. I can't leave my house, barely my bed, in my pajamas, and the entire cast feels that way. I can't even explain why it's so challenging emotionally.
That reunion trailer that came out today, Kyle. Oh my God, I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. I'm going to ask you about it in a minute. But first, I want to say, would you and Kim ever do an acting project together? Because an amazing actress too. I think people don't necessarily realize how good you guys are. At least Housewives fans might not realize it. But there's a scene that Kim did in Black Snake Moan that you watch it, it's like really good acting. And
Yes.
seeing you in Halloween Kills, it's like it's not just sort of, it's really good acting. And so I think we Housewives fans don't always get that side, but I'd love to see the two of you in something together.
I would love to see that too. I mean, you never know. We did movies together when we were younger. We played sisters in the, which was another scary movie, The Car, which was also a Universal film. And I played the younger version of her in Escape to Witch Mountain. So we did do some things together, but I think we did a couple
But
other things
now
together.
we need it
I
now.
know, I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
why not keep it going? Let's do it again.
You have the Real Housewives of North Pole. Is that coming out soon? The Peacock
Yes,
movie.
yes.
What can you tell me about that?
It's a Christmas movie. It's about Betsy Brandt and I play best friends. Betsy Brandt from Breaking Bad, and I play best friends who every year enter a contest to see who can decorate their house the best for Christmas. And it's a small town, North Pole, and they have this big falling out where the Housewives name comes into it, because it's not affiliated with the Housewives. It's just
Okay.
the name, and they have this big blowout, and then they stop speaking, and their children try to get them back together, and they fall in love in the process, and they bring us back together. And it is such a wonderful movie. I am so proud of it. I'm so excited. It is funny, it is feel good, it's just visually magical. Ron Oliver, our director, has done so many Christmas movies and so many great feel good movies. So I'm just really excited to be acting and doing what I love to do most.
Well, like the Hallmark Lifetime Christmas movies are my favorite. So I'm so excited that Peacock is diving into that genre, because I think it's I
Yeah,
mean, during that time of year, it's just like comfort food. You want to watch it. Okay, so
exactly.
on the Halloween set, that scene you mentioned, or some of the other scenes, were you scared when you see Michael Myers in person, even though you know it's like you're acting? Are you still scared?
It's very strange. I can't really explain it, but yes, it is scary. When I'm shooting these scenes, and plus you're so into it. I'm so into the moment and my character, and seeing this figure. He's standing there. It's always so terrifying. The mask, and that you can't see what's behind there, and his body language is so scary. And he's standing there with that knife in his hand. Yesterday, we were doing a press junket at Universal Studios on the back lot, and Michael Myers was there. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I screamed and ran away, because and it's funny because logically I know he's not going to kill me. I'm here to do a press junket, but I'm still panicking and freaking out.
It's like going to a haunted house. I feel like you're going into a haunted house, but it's
It,
still something about it is terrifying.
that's exactly right. Like, have you gone to Universal Halloween Horror Nights?
Not
You,
this year, but yeah, I've been there
but
before.
there are actors chasing you, but you're like, what if there's some psychopath who actually got in here, and that's the act. That's how you feel. There's, you just can't help it.
Right. Okay, I got to ask about this reunion trailer. So you haven't seen it yet, but it's going
No.
to be a 4-part reunion. And I kind of thought, really, I thought Andy told us it's a 4-part. Do we really need that? And after seeing the trailer, I'm like, okay, now I need like 5, 6, 7 parts, because it really did look so good.
I'm getting so many messages. My phone has been blowing up about how amazing, how insane, how crazy it looks. And I I thought it wasn't coming out till later. I think by accident or something, Andy posted or something. I was like, what do you mean? It's already out. So I'm very curious myself, even though of course I was there, but you never know what makes it and what doesn't. So
Okay,
I
there are all
want to
these
see.
rumors that you and Bamboozle Jane, you got into it and you guys aren't good anymore. Are you? What can you tell me about that?
Oh my God, there's so many rumors out there lately. That was, things get exaggerated in the press, as you may have seen once or twice in your career and your life. But Erica's feelings were hurt. I hurt her feelings from scenes she saw in the show. Dorit and I and our husbands had a conversation. Um, and they had questions. Everybody had questions. It was confusing. I mean, you saw
Right.
the season. It was confusing. We did have a lot of questions, and, I've never known Erica to be a liar ever. She's been nothing but kind to me and supportive of me. So, I have to go by that. It's easy if you don't know someone to make certain assumptions, but PK said things that were funny and it made me laugh, and then that hurt her feelings. So she wasn't happy with us. So we had to address all of that at the reunion.
Watching that scene, I felt like it was a relief in some ways for viewers, because so many of us watching had a lot of those questions, and the stories didn't make any sense with like the falling in the cliff and the ankle and all of that kind of stuff. It was a lot. So going through both the season and the reunion now, do you feel like you had clarity on specifically, I guess, that accident?
Well, I think that honestly, yes, I do have more clarity, and also, it's really hard when you're nervous, and when you're in Erica's shoes, and you were married to a lawyer for all of those years. You've already been like programmed to be cautious how you word things on the show, probably way before any of this, and you get nervous, and like you maybe miss certain pieces, or you're trying to condense it, and you're also thinking about, oh, I'm saying this, but I maybe shouldn't be saying this. So I'm talking about someone else's life who's not signed up to be on the show. So I get that. So maybe the audience doesn't get that, but I'm thinking, okay, well, obviously there are missing pieces here, and she's stressed talking about this, but she knows she has to. So I have to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I think Bethany had once said from the Real Houses of New York, she said, you can't play smart and stupid at the same time. And I think for the viewer, it can be a bit of a disconnect to hear that she didn't know any of this stuff, when in other seasons we've heard her say, I could take the bar exam right now and be a lawyer, because I've learned so much from being married to him. And so I feel like there maybe is a disconnect there. I don't know.
I can see what you're saying in that point, but on the other hand, I'm very smart. I hear a lot of my husband's business stuff, but I also have no idea what's going on with certain things. He also has me sign papers. I don't know. I mean,
Kyle, you need to look at the papers. What are you talking about? You need to
by
look
the
at
way,
the papers.
my husband is the one who says to me, you need to look at this. You need to read this. And I'm always like, oh, please. And I grew up with a mom who was very like, you never know what a man's going to do. Always look at everything. But I trust my husband. And, she was also married to a lawyer who's not even allowed to legally come home and share information. So, they never had a leveled relationship. I mean, he treated her like she was down here always. Was Tom Girardi coming home and sharing legal information with Erika Jayne? I do not believe so.
Well, it seems like Andy goes in hard at her at the reunion. Like there's a whole minute of him just grilling her with questions that
he did. He really did. It was very difficult. I mean, we often feel like we're in a therapist's office with Andy, and this time it also felt like a courtroom. It was a lot.
Kyle, you mentioned your husband, Mauricio, who obviously we all love Mauricio. I mean, he's the most sought after house husband, I think, on the whole franchise. I've always wanted to ask you this, though. So he popped up in an episode of Newlyweds. Do you remember the Nick and Jessica show?
Yeah.
And I've always been curious, because there's a vacation he takes with Nick back in the day. And I wonder, is he still friendly with Nick Lachey, or?
He was friendly with Nick Lachey. We haven't seen him in a while. My daughter is their real estate agent. With the agency, we represent them, and we always did. So I haven't seen him in a while, but that is funny. That was way back in the day.
Were you with him? You guys were together at that point, right?
My husband and I have been together since 1994. Yes. Yeah. I think we met him, and then Faye was designing, Faye Resnick was designing Nick's house. So, we have a long kind of like history with him, but I haven't seen him in a long time.
How do we get Faye back on the show? Is Faye never going to be back on the show? Has she had it?
No, she'll come back. I'm sure she will. You never know.
I love a good Faye appearance.
I know, right?
And what about Kim? Are we going to get Kim again?
We really wanted her to show up this season, but she was so nervous with COVID, and there wasn't a vaccine at the time, and she was literally didn't leave her house. She was one of those people who was just too scared to leave her house, because she has grandkids, and she was wanted to be able to see them. So it didn't end up happening, but I think in the future it will.
I need a scene between you, Kathy, and Kim, like the three of you.
I know everybody wants to see that.
It's like we're dying to see it. And you guys are filming right now for the next season, right?
No.
I heard that you guys are, but maybe I must have heard incorrectly.
Well, because the bat mitzvah, there was cameras, but they were not Housewives cameras. So that's not to say, there's no season 12 yet.
But we have to get a season 12. And in season 12, we have to have you and Kath and Kim sitting down together. Like, we need it. And it was devastating in the trailer for the reunion seeing Kathy in your arms upset, because I think we all just love Kathy so much.
I mean, that was very emotional. That was very, very emotional. I was not expecting that.
It breaks my heart to even see it. I know we're going to get to see it when it plays out. A couple more Halloween questions I got to ask you before I let you go. Did they ever ask you to come back? You had mentioned you had maybe auditioned for another one, but in terms of like Halloween H2O or Resurrection or some of those ones that were kind of in the middle there, had they ever approached you about that before?
Well, I had an audition for one of them, like maybe 2 years or before the last Halloween, before Halloween Kills. And it wasn't to play Lindsay though. And I went in and they put me on tape and I felt really good about it. And I was like, I nailed that audition. You don't always feel like that, but I did. And then they're like, everything was great, blah, blah, blah. But then they're like, now it's getting postponed and now they're changing everything. And then I thought it was just done and gone. And then like 2 years later, I got the call asking for me to play Lindsay and come back. So
I'm glad it sort of worked out like this, because I think it would have been tough for us Halloween fans to see you in a different role. It was so exciting to see this character.
It definitely would not have felt the same. Absolutely not. And just, having my relationship with Jamie Lee Curtis all of these years and, both of us, being Lori and Lindsay all these years later, it's just such a unique and incredible bond that we have that I'm just so grateful for.
What do you think it is about Jamie's character that endures so much? I mean, Laurie Strode is such an icon in the horror genre.
I think you saw her, since she's so young, and you've seen her, what she's endured and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And she is a warrior. I mean, she's just badass now. And to just witness what her character has gone through all these years. And, people love her. People love watching Michael Myers kill people. People love listening to the music. I mean, I like to have it on my phone as the ringtone, every October. So I think it just was like whatever John Carpenter originally created a perfect storm that made people still love it to this day. And with Jamie Lee Curtis leading the pack, there's a lot to love.
Well, seeing her and you and some of the other characters come back for this one was such a delight for fans. And I think everyone's going to really like it. Everyone's going to check it out on Peacock and in theaters October 15th. Kyle, the last two questions I ask all of my Everything Iconic guests. It's just your favorite Mariah Carey song. And then also, if you were choosing for People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive, who would you choose? And it can't be Mauricio, although we'd love him to get that title.
Okay, my favorite Mariah Carey song is Make It Happen, because I used to, back in the day, listen to it when I would go to auditions and I would like try to manifest what I wanted from my life. So I really loved that song and I would always listen to it.
I love that you're the first guest that's ever given me that answer. I love that.
I always would listen to that and be like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it happen. Everything I want in life, I'm going to make it happen. The People's Sexiest Man Alive, not giving it to my husband, is going to be Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, come on. And now Channing Tatum's sort of in that family. I want to go to their Thanksgiving dinner. They're all just so hot.
Channing Tatum's fine. He's cute, but not like Lenny
Kravitz.
Yeah.
Kyle, thank you so much for taking the time. I love watching you on The Real Houses of Beverly Hills. That reunion, I can't wait. And Halloween, everyone's going to go watch. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Thank you so much, Danny. Talk to you later.
Bye, Kyle. Thank you.
Bye.